Hello, my name is Evan Dangol. In this video, I'm going to teach you something about debugging process in Visual Studio. Debugging means identifying errors in your code, and removing those errors from the program. So basically, I'm using Visual Studio for the debugging process, and the language I'm using is C language. Whenever you write a code, you may not know there may be lots of error. So by debugging process, you can know where the error is instead of looking through the code and spending hours and hours. So you can easily find the error by debugging process, and with that you can identify the offending line and you can rectify or correct correct the error so that your program runs smoothly. Now, by doing debugging, you can certainly become a better programmer than you are. It's because with help of debugging, you don't have to waste time, and you can find out exactly what is happening with your code, so that you can be better in the future. So as you can see, I have written a code, and this program should print numbers from 1 to 10, and I'm expecting the number 1 2 3 4 5 6 to 10. Let's see whether the output will come like this or not. So I'm going to start debugging without debugging. As you can see, I got infinite loop. So obviously the code is not working. Now, what is debugging? Debugging means to find out why that kind of output came. Why I'm not getting expected output like 1 2 3 4 5 6 to 10. So there are two ways that you can start the debugging. One way is to put uh, breakpoint. Uh, Now for that, what you have to do is, let's say you want to debug this code from line number 13 to line number 19, whatever. So you just put break mark like this, you by clicking the line number like this. Now you can see the red dot. That means it's a breakpoint. Now, and after that, what you can do is go to debug menu and click start debugging. This is one way. And there is another way as well. I'll stop this debugging process. What you do is you right click on the line that you want to debug to start from. That is line number 13. So right click on it and then run to cursor or control F10. You just press it and the control goes to line number 13. Then you can start the debugging. Now whichever process you want to do, you can do it. I prefer the first one. That means creating the breakpoint like this, red dot, and after that just click on start debugging. The control stops at line number 13. Now you can, I'll just remove these things first. What debugging actually is, you can check the value of counters, the values of the variables, what is happening to the variables, how the value of variables are changing, and what is going on this while loop, and whatever. You can check anything. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, why I am getting infinite loop. Yeah. So something is wrong with this while loop, right? Because number one is repeating. You can see. I'll just stop this now for now, and just again start the program. Look, one is printing infinitely. I'm not getting two. I'm not getting three. Anything like that. And this program is not stopping. I can scroll, but still it's infinite loop. So what is wrong? Something to do with this while loop and something to do with the value of counter, right? Because the value of counter is not changing, it is staying 1. So what I'm going to do is I put the breakpoint here and press start debugging. Now the control is in line number 13. So I'm just watching the value of counter. It's something garbage value, and after I execute this line, the value of counter becomes 1. As you can see here, the value of counter is 1. You can pin this variable on this editor as well, like this. You just hover over this variable and you can see the little pin here. So you just press it. Now you can view it nicely. Now the value of counter is 1. You can see the value 1. And now control moves to while loop. And what I can do is I can just pin this as well, the condition. Counter is less than or equals to 10, and which is true. The control goes inside this printf statement. Let's see. Yes, it goes. And when if you see the console, you can see the 1 here. This is because of printf. Forgive me, I haven't told you about this small toolbars. This is step into. This is step into. This is step over, and this is step out. Step into means debugging goes to next line. Step over means it steps over the function or whatever calls. Yeah, I'll explain it later. And step out means it comes out of the it stops the debugging, and basically it jumps over the debugging process. And this is step back if you want to go to step back. And this toolbar is restart. You can restart the debugging. For example, if I press this, debugging process starts again. As you can see, the control moves to line number 13 again. And this red button is stop debugging. So it stops the debugging process. Now I'm going to press step into. Step into. It goes to while loop. The condition is true, so printf. If you see the console right now, there is nothing. So when I press the step into, now it goes to the end of the while loop. That means the while is printed here. Now the condition, it checks the condition. It checks for condition. You can see it is checking the condition. Counter is less than 10. The value of counter is 1. So that means the condition is still true. That means it goes inside again. As you can see, there are 2 ones now, and I keep on going like this. You can see no matter how many times I press step into, the controls doesn't come out of while loop. So that is the problem. That is why I'm getting the infinite loop. As you can see, as we can see in the console, there are so many ones, and the value of counter is not increasing. See, control is not coming out of while loop. So we found out the problem. The problem is the value of counter is not changing, and this condition is always true. So what we need to do is just change the value of counter, right? We have to increase the value of counter. So we have to increase the value of counter so that this condition becomes false. How do we do that? Well, I'll just stop the debugging now and just change the value of counter, like counter equals to counter plus 5. Let's say I have changed the value of counter now. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, debug, start debugging, F5. Again, in line number 13, we have control. Then it goes to line number 15. Condition is true. It prints the 1, I guess. Yes, 1. And now look at what happened. Now the value of counter is 6. See, the value of counter has changed. Now, but the condition is still true because 6 is less than or equals to 10 is true. So it prints the 6. Now counter becomes 11. Now you can see here the condition. Counter is less than or equals to 10 is false because the value of counter becomes 11. So when I press start into again, it doesn't go inside the while loop. It straight goes to line number 21 at its gate. That means we have successfully exited from while loop. That means I'm not getting infinite loop now. And I can press stop. So this is how you do debugging. You know the problem, you solve it. And it's better, it's one of the most important thing for programmers because it helps you to find the error very quickly without spending hours and hours of looking through, straining your eyes, and hopefully you will use this debugging thing in your programming career so that you can be a better programmer.